Hey everybody, Rini here. Welcome back to my channel. For my new subscribers, thank you, and welcome back to my new people. Thank you for joining us here in this place. So today I figured we'll go over some of the new Black Panther stuff that came out. I was going to do a reaction to the trailer, but I couldn't wait to watch it, and I just watched it as soon as it was released. Oh, sorry. But I figured today we can just do a review of the trailer, and also new Rockstars, which is an awesome channel. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. I'll put the link in the description. They came out with some a breakdown of the Easter eggs and things that you may not have seen when you initially watched the trailer. They basically do this often, they'll go frame by frame to sort of analyze it and compare it to the mythology and the universe that these movies are in. So you'll be able to tell possibly what's going to happen in the movie from what they analyze. So we're going to take a look at that video as well. So yeah, let's just get into this discussion. Let's go. Yeah, I figure it might just be easier to just rewatch the trailer, just to refresh our memories of what happened. Okay, here we go. She's looking out at the ocean. And this song is everything. The funeral. Yeah, I think that scene in the funeral scene here is obviously a funeral scene. It's sort of like a celebration of life. So it's probably going to be kind of an emotional part. And the ocean is significant because of Namor, obviously, which is being born. Say Ryan Coogler. They're burning the throne room, and just the way it sort of builds up and keeps building to
I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone. Have I not
we gonna be all right. It's so good. It's so good. We know how much of an incredible actress Angela Bassett is. She has a body of work that really just solidifies her as one of the best actresses of our generation. She's amazing. So it's really poignant that the sadness of the tragedy of Chadwick Boseman passing might allow her to really express her method of acting in a way that she may not have been able to before in this role. So that's something to look forward to. I think that she is the perfect vessel to sort of portray that angst and that hurt and that pain and that strength all at the same time, because she's just that phenomenal, and a lot of her roles have really done that in the past. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her being able to show, and many audience, people in this genre of movies may not be as familiar with her as an actress as some of us who really kind of follow movies are. So it's really going to be interesting to see that, to see her do this. Yeah, the video, the trailer, just the choreography between the music and the clips and how it builds up to the story. I'm still curious as to how, I feel like it may be similar to the last one, where the Namor character may not necessarily be just a pure evil tyrant enemy. It may be another level of the story in there, another layer where they sort of have to so that their interaction may not be as black and white. as solidified on either side. So that's going to be interesting to see. We know that the throne room gets destroyed. it just gets flooded. It gets flooded and burned at the same time. So for that to happen is, it's extra. So I'm just really excited. Everybody that I know is like so excited to see this movie. So it's, and I know there's some controversy around the issue of them possibly exploiting the passing of Chadwick Boseman for the movie. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't think that anybody in Marvel or Disney or anybody in the production of this has ownership of the essence of his life. I think that is for his family, and for people that were close to him. I don't think that they're exploiting it. I think that they address it as a character. They had to, because he's no longer with us. So they had to address it as a character being gone. And because they built up the character in the Avengers movies, in the first movie to be a continuous thing, they had to address it. They couldn't just like leave it alone. I know that the recast T'Challa situation has really sort of come to the forefront after this trailer. It was kind of like brewing before then, but it's made its way to the front of the class. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like at the time he passed, everyone was kind of hurt and affected by it, so they didn't really want to think about having to recast him. But moving forward, they definitely have to either have someone else take up the mantle of Black Panther, or just write in some sort of person from another plane doing it. I don't know. Maybe from the spirit plane, or from the ancestral plane, or something. They had to do something. So it's like they're kind of in a bind. And I think that Ryan Coogler, if you can trust anyone with respecting Chadwick Boseman's life and his work, it would be Ryan Coogler. I don't think that he would allow himself to do anything that is in any way disrespectful to the man or the character that he brought to life. So, we'll just have to see what happens. I'm definitely going to see it regardless. I'm probably going to see it several times. And I hope that you'll too. So anyway, let's just get into this new Rockstars clip and see what sort of goodies they found in the video. Okay, so we're going to play this, and I'm going to leave the link in the description for anyone who wants to go check out their stuff. They're an awesome channel, New Rockstars. They do the pausing and the zooming in, so you don't have to. So yeah, I'm going to leave the link in the description for you to check them out.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of the trailer for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which leaves us with tears and with questions. Let's break down this trailer frame by frame for the visual details you might have missed, translations of every bit of Wakanda text that we see on screen, and just
oh yeah, they all out deciphered Wakanda text. They have an alphabet. They know what it says. They know how to translate it. It's just, And I always find it interesting. Like, I saw a documentary once about this guy. I forgot his name. I mean, if I find it, I'll put it up on the screen somewhere, where he's basically like the master of linguistics, and they come up with different languages. Like the Klingons have their language, and a lot of these languages in movies people don't realize are based on ancient languages, and you can actually use them in the real world.
The trailer opens with No Woman, No Cry by Bob Marley and the Wailers, but here covered by Nigerian singer Tems. Bob Marley's lyrics are often misinterpreted as, if you have no woman, there's nothing to make you cry, but that's not the truth. It's not a song for...
Has it though? I don't know. I always took it to mean don't cry woman, but I mean, that's new to me.
And it's really a song for women. It means woman don't cry. Wailers bassist Aston Barrett in 2012 explained that the song is really about the strength of women and encouragement to be like a lion, with or without a man. And Barrett encouraging women to rise up as lions applies to the women of this movie: Nakia, Shuri, Ramonda, Okoye, Aneka, and Riri Williams. That despite their tears, they can still be strong feline warriors in their own right. Nakia stands on a beach with a Mayan pyramid.
And that's one thing that I found annoying. But some people that posted online, they were saying that, oh, there's no men in the trailer. Where's all the guys? Where's Killmonger? First of all, Killmonger is supposed to be dead. No, it's based on the comics. Like, all of the people that were closest to T'Challa happen to be women. They happen to be his sister. They happen to be his mother. They happen to be his girlfriend. It's just on the Dora Milaje or all women. and it's based on the comics. It's not a reference to just trying to emasculate men. It's people, man.
Behind her. These types of pyramids and ruins can be found throughout Mexico along the Yucatan Peninsula, and the Atlanteans in this film are going to be connected to ancient Mayan culture. Namor actor Tanaka Huerta told Vice that he had to learn a language for this movie that was based on ancient Mayan. Here, Ramonda sits upon the Wakandan throne, flanked by the Dora Milaje, and the floor of this room that she shares with the other tribe elders is the exposed red clay floor of Mount Pashenga. This throne itself bears the Wakandan letters that translate to wisdom and loyalty. And notice how Ramonda appears to have a chunk of vibranium ore on her armrest. Maybe the conflict in this movie has to do with vibranium as a natural resource that is.
I never even noticed that there was a
the
mountain underneath them like that.
Steele as the elder of the merchant tribe, returning from the 2018 film. Dorothy Steele passed away at age 95 in October 2021 after completing her work for this film. And the streets of Wakanda citizens dance in white clothes. White is what Wakandans wear when they are in mourning. Ramonda and Shuri were both wearing white to mourn T'Chaka's death at the beginning of the 2018 film.
The comfort for your loss.
Yep, they sure
Now, Wakanda
were.
celebrates the life of T'Challa. Shuri grieves in a procession with her mother Ramonda over the Marvel Studios logo that's also in white, led by the Dora Milaje, who, in this very rare occasion, trade out their red uniforms for these white robes. So yes, this film will address Chadwick Boseman's death by showing the death of T'Challa. How the character has died remains unclear. Some have wondered if this film might be set during the blip. Maybe they could be mourning T'Challa's dusting, but that is not possible because Shuri was among the dusted, according to Avengers Endgame, and Shuri is in this movie. Also, according to everyone on cast and crew, this, along with every other Phase 4 title aside from a couple flashbacks, is set definitively after the blip. I just hope that they don't make the actual circumstances of its death a kind of plot point to the movie. Like, this movie does not have to be a conspiratorial mystery.
Yeah. I think they'll probably start right after. We may not even know how he was killed in the movie. They may just start with the funeral and not reference the details of what happened or just glance over it. Yeah. I don't think they're going to make it a main plot point.
Died, but rather story about what people do after in his absence. Now, the gate that they're headed toward has a statue of Bashenga. Bashenga was the first Black Panther and Wakandan king who united the tribes of Wakanda and the one who first consumed the heart-shaped herb to come into communion with Bast. Here, you can actually see Bast sitting at Bashenga's feet. But then, notice the figure to the right. That is a female figure. Could it be Bashenga's wife, his sister, his daughter, his mother? There is another feline sitting at her feet, which I believe to be Sekhmet. Bast is derived from Bastet, the Egyptian feline goddess, the more peaceful of the pairing that also includes the more aggressive feline deity of Sekhmet. T'Challa actually mentioned both of these in Civil War.
In my culture, death is not the end.
Oh, yeah?
Stepping off point. You reach out with the Segment.
I forgot he said that.
Around forever.
And by green belt, I think we all assumed that was the ancestral plane, but this green garden may actually be the green belt on this side of the plane, the one that leads to the ancestral plane. This appears to be the royal cemetery, aka the necropolis of Wakanda. So as the past couple titles of the MCU have started to
like a
explore how certain
gateway.
superheroes are avatars of deities, and how those deities are actually represented in the Marvel Universe and Omnipotent City in Thor: Love and Thunder, including someone who we thought was Bast and a white-furred feline figure that I think might be Sekhmet. This film may now expand this kind
Let's
of
not talk about that city, okay? Let's not talk about that city. Let's not. Love and Thunder was.
There's another angle of the throne room showing Dora Milaje in formation, and now the columns have writing on them. We can see in power, then T'Challa, then our hero, and honor forever. And we know from some set photos that the full transcription of this phrase is rest in power, King T'Challa, our hero, 'twas an honor, Wakanda forever. And Ramonda, now in black, stands on the shoreline that we think Nakia is on, and notice some gray hairs are visible under her headpiece. She looks magnificent, but even she cannot hide the toll that her life and losses have taken on her. Moving on.
She was already gray.
Here we see the birth of Namor. Namor
She was
is
gray in the
Marvel's
last
first mutant.
movie.
Publication date-wise, and now that the MCU has finally said the word mutation in the context of Kamala Khan, it's likely that they're going to call Namor a mutant.
You know, I didn't even watch that series. I didn't watch Ms. Marvel. Maybe I'll catch up on it and we'll talk about it. But I just had no interest in watching that at all. At all. And I think they said that was the lowest rated Disney show so far. I don't know. For some reason, it's just, I don't know. Whatever.
Namor is the mutant son born to the Atlantean princess of Fen and a human captain of the Lemurian Star, which kind of got referenced in Winter Soldier.
Target is a mobile satellite launch platform, Lemurian Star.
Yeah, Lemurian Star, Potato, Topato. Now, while DC's Aquaman first appeared in 1941, Namor actually
He's the
precedes
Brooklyn
that, joining
accent,
Captain America in
Lemurian.
the android form of the Human Torch in 1939. These three were the first real Marvel superheroes. Over the years, Namor has been known as really an anti-hero who seeks vengeance against surface dwellers, and in more recent comics has had a history of bad blood with Wakanda and T'Challa. Namor wears a ceremonial Mayan headpiece with a jaguar head, making Namor parallel to the Black Panther. A helicopter approaches a human research vessel, but this isn't a
Is that how he dressed in the
because a guard
comics?
is holding a freaking machine gun. And this dive is occurring at night. You want to see stuff under the ocean? Why wouldn't you just go during the day? Yeah, this is not a harmless academic trip, my friends. This actually might be the human intervention that aggravates Atlantis.
Shady.
And puts Wakanda in an awkward situation, as Wakanda, unlike Atlantis, opened up to the world community, and thus, from the Atlanteans' point of view, might have made themselves culpable every time the humans do something stupid. Moving on.
See, that's what I don't. Wakanda had all that tech, vibranium and all that resources, tech. It's just like, how would they ever be in a position to have to defend themselves against any other country? I don't understand that. And I'm a little apprehensive about how that's going to play out in the movie because it doesn't make any sense. If they have to, I don't know. They're not going to let some military. Okay, let me just.
Research vessel. Here we see some armed uniformed soldiers invading a Wakandan lab, forcing a scientist to open a door and then holding.
Yeah, armed uniformed soldiers invading a Wakanda lab. How? Where? With, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to see this. We're going to have to see how that plays out.
Other scientists at gunpoint beside these bubbling water columns. This could be an off-campus lab where, I don't know, maybe some Navy SEALs were sent to take everything the Wakandans know about Atlantis, orbit it, and then uses Namor's amplified powers to flood the entire nation of Wakanda, killing countless innocents. So I assume in this movie, the Atlanteans will flood Wakanda as a kind of final escalation, maybe a measure of last resort. It begins with Wakanda siding with humanity over them. But is it going to be Namor who floods Wakanda, or one of the other Atlanteans that he doesn't necessarily agree with the extremity of? In the lab greets Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, a brilliant MIT student and engineer played by Dominique Thorne. She's going to be getting her own Disney Plus series in fall 2023. Looks like Shuri might be doing some recruiting of great minds from Tony Stark's alma mater. Now, Letitia Wright as an actress is just very thin, but notice as she approaches Dominique Thorne, she has definitely put on a bit of mass in her shoulders. I only bring this up because the final shot of this trailer is just going to force us to pay close attention to all of these
she's
actors.
still thinner than that. Why are people obsessing over these legs in this trailer? Is either a stunt person, a CGI, or a misdirect. Even if, let's say, hypothetically, Shuri did take on the Black Panther mantle in the movie, this is going to be a stunt person. It's not going to be her actually squatting and flipping and all that. It's going to be somebody else, and they'll just like do it in post. I think it's a misdirect. I don't think it's actually, I don't even think this is going to be a scene in the movie. I think they just did this to just throw people off, but you know, we'll have to see. But stop obsessing over just a random, we've learned our lesson from before, okay? This happened. Every movie they do this. Yeah, take all these trailers with a grain of salt.
Mars All Right became a protest anthem. He conceived this track while visiting South Africa's Robben Island to see the cell where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned, and he wrote these lyrics with an intent to heal. Thereafter, this song became a key song for the BLM movement, both to grieve, but also to fight through that grief and find a way to express joy and to keep one's head up. And I love how both of these songs in this trailer work together to try to comfort us, to try to keep us strong. Let's move on. This is a snow-covered gorilla statue. This may be where the Wakandans have to flee to after the flooding, since it's higher ground. Ramonda addresses the UN, and after that skirmish with the commandos and the Wakandan scientists, I'm wondering if she's now declaring that Wakanda is actually turning away from the world community, a reversal of her son's address in the 2018.
Yeah, she did look a little tight.
T'Challa's funeral ceremony, showing his face on a billboard with the Wakandan letters translating to "The Panther King forever lives in us and rests," with an unseen "with the," and the last word is blocked out, but I see an ES, and based on his spacing, I think it's ancestors. So the Panther King forever lives in us and rests with the ancestors. So the emotional speech given by Ramonda that I thought was in the UN is actually being delivered in the Wakandan throne room, perhaps to the Atlantean invaders who are now demanding more from her. And she says, "My entire family is gone." So T'Chaka and T'Challa are gone, but what about Shuri? I would be really surprised if Shuri dies in this movie, but she may not be actually dead. She might just be in the ancestral plane, and Ramonda just thinks she's dead. For Shuri to access the ancestral plane, she would have to find a way to synthetically regrow.
Yeah, that scene with her in the throne room with the fire and the water kind of looks like it's a dream sequence. And if you look at what she has on, it's sort of like, it looks like a nightgown or something. So I think it's either a dream or she is like a vision that she was given, or as a warning or something.
Then a shot of Namor looking at this Mayan art. At least I think it's Mayan. This mural depicts the feathered serpent deity known as, forgive my pronunciation, Kukulkan, which is the Mayan equivalent to Quetzalcoatl of Aztec mythology. So again, the way that the Black Panther uses the deity of Bast as his divine power, serving as his avatar, the way Moon Knight served as the avatar to Khonshu, I think the same process is being used by Namor, empowered by a Mayan god. Namor, or some other Atlantean, descends into this throne that is encased in the jawbone of a shark. I love how the top of the jawbone has 2 rows of teeth, because sharks shed their teeth. And then a Wakandan versus Atlantean sea battle. Dozens of Atlanteans surrounding a vessel in a coordinated strike, and then the Dormelage leap off that deck, tethered to knock them off the side of the vessel. I love this Jack Sparrow shit, and I want to know what kind of ship this is. Why are the Wakandans venturing out in the ocean? I have a theory for...
Why are Wakandans venturing out into the ocean? Okay. Right, so why did they go out into the ocean? That's what okay.
Why they may be setting their sails in the final section. And when I wake up...
Wakanda forever.
Ooh, so who is our new Black Panther in this black and gold suit? I initially thought Shuri, since, you know, Letitia Wright has put on some muscle. But based on the silhouette, I will say it looks more like Nakia, who is the first character we see in this trailer. But at the end of the day, I could be wrong. I just do think this figure looks a bit more masculine to me. And really, the clue I'm most interested in comes from the line of Kendrick Lamar's All Right that Coogler cuts to black on. And when I wake up... Yes, when I wake up. If the reason Ramonda considers Shuri dead is that Shuri is in the ancestral plane, recruiting Cousin Killmonger to wake him up to resurrect him, that could be how we get Killmonger back.
I think that's what everybody wants to say.
Jane Foster and Heimdall in Valhalla, another MCU afterlife alongside the ancestral plane and the Egyptian underworld in Moon Knight. And the reason we saw Jane and Heimdall again, I think, was to indicate the possibility of reincarnation or resurrection in this universe. Remember, Killmonger was buried at sea.
Just bury me in the ocean.
with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
And in this trailer, at the very beginning, there was one shot of Shuri in which she is in this golden, hazy, out-of-focus realm, and she's crying. What is making her cry? Who is she seeing? Who is she reuniting with in this moment? Perhaps she could be in her ancestral underworld, waking up a warrior to help her reclaim
with
her
a
home.
hoodie
So much
on?
attention has been paid to who's in the suit that some have overlooked the context of this moment. Someone out of focus is climbing back to their feet on this beach, framed in this Panther's claws. Now, I assume it's Namor. Looks like it's a blur of who wears his chest and his green jammers, golden gauntlets, and chest piece. But if this beach is Wakandan, that would mean this is pre-flood. Because if they need those floodwaters to rise enough to flood the throne room, there wouldn't be a beachfront here. So Killmonger's resurrection and conflict with Namor in this moment might actually be the thing, the moment of escalation that leads Atlantis to retaliate by flooding Wakanda, a risk that Killmonger might consider worth taking. As Doctor Strange learned in Multiverse of Madness, resurrecting the dead may seem like a quick fix, but in the grand scheme of things, it's an unholy action to unbury the dead and can curse the living with unintended consequences.
That was
Thank you
another
so much
one
for
that-
watching this video. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EABoss, follow New Rockstars, and subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks again so much for supporting this channel, and I'll catch you next time.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of good, nice little tidbits up in there. Yes. This is. I think the battle with on the beach could just be. Yeah, you're right. If it's flooded afterwards, then that's probably just the end of it, the culmination of it, and that could be how the Dora Milaje ended up in the ocean on ships is because Wakanda was actually flooded, and that was like their last stand. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Do you think it's going to be Shuri that's going to take up the mantle, or somebody else, or they've invented some new tech where it can be like some sort of, I don't know, android or something, or humanoid? I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments. Personally, I know that Shuri taking up the mantle is in line with what was in the comics, because she did become the Black Panther. And I know some people say that she doesn't have combat experience, but somebody had to do something in the 5 years that everyone was blipped. She was blipped, Black Panther was blipped. So was there not someone like taking up the mantle in between that time? Maybe they had someone already in the role of the Black Panther. I don't know. And it's like them resolving the pain and the loss is a separate story. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Subscribe, share, let other people know what we're doing over here. So until next time, peace.